welcome back to Connor on the Rails. Today we are looking at footage from when I went to the Conway Scenic Railroad on the 18th of July in 2020. The train you are seeing now is the first train of the day, the Valley train, leaving for Conway, New Hampshire. The locomotive is GP35 number 216 and is pulling the Notch train consist, which contains car number 6739 Mount Bemis, number 6749 Mount Webster, number 3234, which is the Carroll P. Reed or CP Reed, and then the Conway Scenic's Vista Dome car 1329, the Dorothy May, .492, the dining car Hattie Evans, and the Conway Scenic's new Vista Dome car, the Rodna Lee. The train left for Conway early in the morning. At around 10:15 a.m., a little bit after the first train of the day, the Valley train to Conway, left the station, some rare yard work began. The locomotive you are seeing now is GP38 number 252. 252 was recently in a collision with a truck at a railroad crossing. I don't know much about it, but it is temporarily out of service as of right now. They are moving 252 over to another siding on the other side of the station so that the black and gray striped locomotive, GP9 number 1751, can move into position and hook up to the line of cars for the second Valley train of the day. The passenger car on the right side in the little siding next to the platform track is the Conway Scenic's only rail diesel car, or RDC, number 23 Millie. I don't know why she was sitting in the siding there that day, but it was nice to see her since I had never seen her before. GP7 1751 is now moving into position to hook up to the consist of cars for the second Conway trip of the day. The train has backed up over the switch, and the conductor is now throwing the switch to the line that the cars are on. The locomotive will stay coupled to those cars and in that siding until the first Conway train comes back to North Conway. The conductor is making sure that the switch is thrown the correct way. And now the conductor will ride on the footboard of the locomotive, or the steps of the locomotive, and proceed with the locomotive to the cars. At around 11 o'clock in the morning, the first Conway train, led by GP35 number 216, comes back to North Conway. It's going to drop off its passengers and then it will move to the side to let GP9 1751 with the second Conway train of the day to get onto the track. About 5 minutes after arriving in North Conway, the Valley train consist that was used at the beginning of the day is now moved a little bit farther down the tracks so that the second Conway consist with GP9 1751 can move into the platform and pick up its passengers. About 5 minutes after the first train to Conway moved out of the way of the platform, the second train to Conway pulled out of its siding in the yard and moved onto the switch and backed into the platform. It was led by two conductors, one on the rear vestibule of the last car and the other one on the ground directing it.
(1751), 6 cars. Copy, sir. (1751), 4 cars. 1.
Yeah, I have it in the one. At around 11:20 a.m., the second train to Conway leaves the platform. This time the train is hauled by GP9, number 1751, and has an array of steel coaches. They're all painted in this nice red, yellow, and gray color, except for one of them. That one car that is not painted in the same color as the rest of them is one of the Conway Scenic Railroad's dining car, the Chocorora. The Chocorora has the same paint scheme as the Pullman's Gertrude Emma, which is owned by the Conway Scenic Railroad, but that car was under under restoration and renovation when I was there. And the car behind the Chocorora is a specific compartment car where people were allowed to take off their masks. Around 5 minutes after the second train to Conway left the station, the first train to Conway backed into the platform once again. It backed into the platform because this train was going to be the Mountaineer for the rest of the day. This train would go from North Conway all the way up into the White Mountains and over the famous Frankenstein Trestle until it reached Crawford Notch, a station high up in the White Mountains, which I have visited. It is very nice.
One to go, the mark is yours. Wait until we get underway. What's that? Did you say wait until we get underway? Yeah, I don't want them moving between cars when the train starts out. Let's go to roll.
The Mountaineer to Crawford Notch was just given the clear signal to go up to Crawford and is now leaving the Victorian station building of the Conway Scenic Railroad. At around 12:30 p.m., the second train to Conway came back to the historic Victorian station with the locomotive turned around on for the first trip to Bartlett. Bartlett is the longer part of the Valley train, about 21 miles round trip, as the trip to Conway is about 11 miles round trip. The train is the same consist as it was going down to Conway, and the second one, which I was not able to record, which leaves at 3:30, you'll get to see the train from Crawford Notch come down, and you'll get to see the Mountaineer train pass right by your train.